Laura Ewing, the machinist.
Like family.
I got an email about wearing the union flag.
Every morning.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Just close the door.
Giant letters and I'm just like,
I got you.
weird. So I'm still wearing machinist clothes.
Okay.
Not what I. Not
We
what I
ready?
thought.
Okay.
No.
Yeah? We got everybody? We got everybody?
Hey, what are you doing?
We got everybody?
There we go.
All right. Okay. Here we go. All right, guys. Yeah, bring it in. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful day today. I'm Congresswoman Linda Sánchez, and I'm the ranking member of the Ways and Means Subcommittee on Trade. I'm also a proud former member of IBEW. And when I became the ranking member, I made it clear that we had to refocus our national conversation on trade, that we must work towards a more worker-centric approach to our trade policies, one that stands with my union brothers and sisters and doesn't leave them behind. Trade is in the headlines almost every day, and it's on everybody's mind. But what's been missing from the discussion is how to support American workers who, through no fault of their own, have lost their jobs because of our past trade policies. They don't need slogans and they don't need empty promises, but a meaningful and unwavering commitment to help them get back on their feet. That is why renewing Trade Adjustment Assistance Program, or TAA, is so critical, and why I'm introducing the TAA Modernization Act today. For those of you who are not familiar, TAA is a program that works. It has demonstrated success. More importantly, it helps American workers get back to work. It provides 2 years of job training and income support for workers who have lost their jobs because of trade. Since 1974, more than 5 million Americans have benefited from this lifeline, and more than 75% of participants found new jobs within 6 months. Workers in the program earn on average $50,000 more over a 10-year period. They are also 10% more likely to be reemployed than workers who don't have access to this program. That is not a handout, that is a hand up. Yet Congress allowed this vital program to expire in 2022. That decision abandoned hundreds of thousands of workers who did everything right. Instead of support, their applications have been left sitting at the Department of Labor. They've waited 4 long years, 4 years of economic uncertainty, 4 years of wondering whether their government really and truly has their back. Well, these workers can't wait any longer. Could you if you lost your job tomorrow? Today we will hear from workers living that reality. Wes Mullins and Dale Barr are here from the Yokohama Tire Plant in Salem, Virginia. They and 40 of their co-workers learned less than 2 weeks ago that their plant will close this month. 400 families thrown into uncertainty just like that. They are not just an economic statistic. They are families worried about how they are going to afford their rent, their mortgage, their groceries, and health care. I'm grateful to Wes and Dale for having the courage to share their stories. We owe it to them and to the hundreds of thousands of workers still waiting on TAA to act now. My bill would reauthorize TAA for workers, TAA for firms, and TAA for farmers for 7 years. It would expand eligibility, increase funding, and improve benefits, including support for child care expenses. It would cut through red tape so that workers have help faster. It would also establish a new TAA for Communities program and reinvest the successful TAA for Community Colleges initiative. It would strengthen outreach to historically underserved communities and improve data collection so we can develop better policies in the future. For too long, American workers have been told to be patient. For too long, they've been asked to sacrifice while others reap the rewards of trade. The waiting is over. It's time to put American workers first. Let's renew TAA. Let's stand shoulder to shoulder with workers like Wes and Dale, and deliver the support that hundreds of thousands of American workers need and deserve. Thank you for being here this morning, and I would now like to invite my good friend and colleague, Congressman Morgan McGarvey from Kentucky, to say a few words. Morgan?
Thank you, Ranking Member Sánchez, Coach Sánchez, Congresswoman Sánchez, and tireless advocate for Americans and for America's workers, Linda Sánchez. You are awesome in what you're doing. This is so necessary. Thank you to Wes, to Dale, to Chad Connolly from Kentucky, and all of our brothers and sisters from organized labor who are here with us today. Louisville, Kentucky is a labor town. Every Ford Escape and Ford F-250 and above in North America is made in Louisville, Kentucky by the United Auto Workers. UPS's World Hub, where we all get our packages, come from the Teamsters in Louisville, Kentucky. Everything from our bourbon to our baseball bats is made with union labor right there in Louisville, Kentucky. So when you talk about trade policy in Louisville, it's not some obscure piece of paper here in Washington. It is food on the table. It is rent in the door. It is sending your kids to college in Louisville, Kentucky. Because we know that what Washington does or doesn't do impacts people in Louisville, impacts families. And the uncertainty and the chaos right now that we're seeing out of Washington is heartbreaking. That is why we need a program like this. Why Congresswoman Sanchez's bill is so important. The Trade Adjustment Act, it may have that fancy title, but what it means is for these workers, for the men and women who are putting things together, building things, making things, delivering things with their hands, that if those jobs up and leave through no fault of their own, we're going to be there for them. We're going to be there for them in a way that works, that actually says, we know you want to work, but we might need some training. We know that you want to continue to make things. We're going to show you how. As Coach Sánchez said, this is a hand up, not a hand out. It's also a broken promise we need to fix. How do we know this program's going to work? Because it has worked so successfully in the past. And when Congress didn't reauthorize this after 2022, leaving so many families in the lurch, it's a broken promise on a heap of other broken promises. The TAA is such an important thing, especially the way that Congresswoman Sánchez has expanded it and made it better to get these workers and these families back on their feet again. The party in power right now talks an awful lot about America first. Well, if they want to back it up with action, this is an America first bill. This is an American worker first bill. This is something that lays the groundwork for better economic stability and well-being for all of our workers and all of our families. Thank you so much, Ranking Member Sánchez, and for our brothers and sisters in labor who are here today supporting this important legislation.
Thank you, Morgan. You can see why he's one of my favorites. Next, I would like to invite Laura Ewan from the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. Her union represents more than 600,000 workers in North America. Laura?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the IAM Union, on behalf of working people across our great nation, and standing here with congressional representatives who support working Americans and their families. We are so grateful to Representative Sánchez for her leadership and for this legislation. And I'll keep it short. TAA must be reauthorized, it must be modernized, and it has to be properly funded to help assist and retrain workers who have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. Their job losses are caused by greedy corporate decisions that rely on bad trade policy and trade loopholes that prioritize shareholder profits over the people. I can tell you, the IAM appreciates the TAA program as it was intended to be applied. When Caterpillar shut down its Joliet, Illinois facility in 2019, moving 600 union jobs to Mexico, the TAA was there to help them retrain and get other jobs. When Trucklight closed its facility in Falconer, New York in early 2020 and shipped more than 150 jobs to Mexico and to China, the TAA was there. These workers benefited from this amazing program that let them continue working, providing for their families, and lifting up their communities with good working class jobs. And in the time that the TAA has gone unfunded by Congress, there are more than 200,000 workers that have applied for assistance, and their applications are stuck in the queue. And that number's going up. That is wrong. That isn't America first. That's punishing workers who have poured their blood, their sweat, and their tears into companies to lift up their communities, and those companies are sending their jobs overseas. And now, on Monday, this coming Monday, almost 400 Whirlpool workers in Amana, Iowa, are losing their jobs to Whirlpool's greedy decision to ship jobs to Mexico. And hundreds more cuts are expected this year. Without the reauthorization and without this legislation, those workers are not just going to be losing their paychecks, but the job training and the financial support that they need to rebuild their lives and maintain their families' livelihoods. That's not just a blow to those workers. It's a blow to their families and to their communities. So we ask that Congress support this bill. We ask that workers call your congressional representatives and urge them to sign on to the TAA Modernization Act. With corporations wanting to ship these good American jobs overseas, we just cannot afford to let this program languish. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you for your representation of so many workers. Our next speaker is Wes Mullins from United Steelworkers Local 1023. As I mentioned earlier, Wes just learned that the factory he works in Salem, Virginia, is being closed. I want to thank him again for joining us today and for sharing his story and for telling us why renewing TAA, what that would mean for him and for his coworkers right now. Wes?
Thank you. My name is Wes Mullins, and I'm the Vice President and a Safety Committee member of the United Steelworkers Local 1023. Our union represents 420 bargaining unit employees who manufacture passenger and light truck tires at the Yokohama facility in Salem, Virginia. I am 53 years old and have been a part of Yokohama since 1998. At that time, our plant was at its peak. It produced 20,000 tires a day, operated 7 days a week, and employed between 900 and 1,000 people. In my nearly 28 years at Yokohama, I've held various roles in Division 400, tire building, and Division 500, tire curing. On January the 16th, 2026, Yokohama management notified our local about plans of a layoff, approximately 80% of the workforce in March, with the possibility of a full plant closure. After almost a month of bargaining, Yokohama management rejected our negotiating committee's alternatives to layoff and closure and announced a full closure of the facility on March 18th. This devastating closure and the decline of the Salem plant have been the result of imports and a lack of investments. As the company shifted investments towards foreign plants, particularly in the Philippines, Thailand, and now Mexico, North American warehouse inventory transitioned from mostly domestic to predominantly imported tires. In March of 2004, Yokohama broke ground on a new tire plant in Mexico. According to Yokohama's press release, this plant will ship 5 million tires into the North American market. Most of these tires, the same tires we are able to make at the Salem plant, if the investments were made, we can make them all. On a personal note, this plant closure has pushed me into early retirement, and now I must look for new employment. Only a few years from when I had hoped to retire. I'll be competing against many other younger, displaced workers from our plant for a job with comparable wages and benefits. With over 27 years of service, I am lucky to be eligible to retire, but I'm not ready. This plant closure will also force myself, my wife of 29 years, and my youngest child off of good health care. For my entire career, I have worked to provide my family with good health care benefits, which are now being stripped away at a time when we need them the most, forcing us to find alternative options. My story is similar to my brothers and sisters in Local 1023. Out of the 420 bargaining unit workers, 225 are 50 years old or older, workers who have put nearly whole careers in this industry and at times worked in unsafe conditions while the company squeezed the last bit of life from our facility. We are now being rewarded with unemployment and uncertain job market with few transferable skills. During a downsizing in 2014, many of our members utilized the TAA, learning new skills, and found employment. We did everything right, and yet we are being treated like a cost that is being cut to increase the bottom line. Our jobs are being shipped out, our health care is being taken away, and hundreds of working families are being left behind. The right thing to do is stand with the workers of USW Local 1023 and give us a real chance to rebuild our lives. The benefits available through the TAA Modernization Act will do just that. Reauthorize TAA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wes. You can hear in his voice how critical this is for workers. Finally, I would like to invite Roy Hausman to speak. He's also from the Steelworkers. Roy actually went through the TAA program. His story will help to highlight the impact that this program has on those who have gone through it. Roy?
All right. Roy Hausman, Steelworkers. I can't tell you enough, having helped over 10,000 workers get certified in the TAA program over the course of the years, the benefits that this provides. When we talk about up to 130 weeks of job retraining benefits, that means everything from just getting a CDL to get out there and right back into the workforce to up to a master's degree, which is what I got. Like the ability, nurses, helicopter pilots, the ability to earn while you learn, this idea that you should be able to get into school, have an ability to still pay the mortgage, collect a little bit of money. It's not a ton of money, but it's enough to get by. And then when you see these trade impacts happen, they happen whether there's a new trade agreement or a trade agreement that's been around for 25 years. So when we talk about the need for TAA, it's this ability to just take this economic ladder, provide it for workers up and down throughout the entire manufacturing and service supply chain. And Representative Sanchez's bill is that opportunity to really re-engage that ladder, bring it back down, and allow workers who are at their worst moment, to get them back into the workforce with the skills they need. And how many times have we heard employers say, well, we can't find a skilled and trained workforce, when we literally have a bill that provides you the ability to find, seek, and train people. That's what TAA does. So when we ask for this renewal, we're asking not just for impacted union workers, but for the 200,000 people who've been waiting for their petitions to be heard. We're asking for Congress to just do the bare minimum that needs to be done, and that's why we can't thank Representative Sanchez enough. This is why union members, regular workers, and others need to see a Congress that puts workers first, and trade adjustment assistance is a great start to doing that. We never want to see a plant closure, but when it happens, we have to be there, and the union will be there regardless. We'll do the effects bargaining, but past that effects bargaining, we're going to find every tool, every resource available to make sure you have a right to dignity at work and a good career and a good lifetime. That's what TAA does. So we want to thank again Representative Sanchez, Representative McGarvey, others. We need support. Every member of Congress, reach out, do everything you can to help, because this is an opportunity to just give a little bit of benefit to people oftentimes who've worked generations at facilities. So thank you guys so much for this, and I'll turn it back to Representative Sanchez.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you. I want to thank all of our speakers for sharing their stories with us today and highlighting why it is so critical to renew TAA. We know that this program works. It has a track record. And we know that currently there are thousands of workers who need it. We should not be treating workers as a disposable commodity. These are families that lift up their communities, and we need to help them in their hour of need. We must put American workers first. And I would say, just add that, like everybody here, please reach out to your member of Congress. Let them know how important it is to support these working families. Thank you for being here today. And again, thank you to all who have joined me to talk about this critical issue. Just want to say thank you all for being here. We really, really appreciate it, and we're going to push as hard as we can.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your leadership. And you guys are all dressed up. You're all Union blue. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, kids. Well, we'll let you get on to whatever it is that you have next.
They've got no meetings. They're going up to meet with their regional reps.
Nice.
They're going to talk about the bill and efforts to kind of get it renewed.
Yeah.